Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Talking Reds. Darwin Nunez on his way out and Viktor Gyokeres potentially on his way in. What a breaking news that is this today. But Alexander Isak, we're going to talk about Alexander Isak as well. Mark Gahim, Milos Kerkez. Where is he? Where is Milos Kerkez? We're still waiting from yesterday to find out what's going on with Milos Kerkez. He was supposed to be officially announced yesterday. That didn't come about. He's supposed to be officially announced today. That is yet to come about. Like I said, if it does come about, I will let you know live on stream. Last week it was 7 o'clock that came that Foreign Verts was announced, and it just happened just to be when I'm about to click live on that stream, it came out. But yeah, nothing on Milos Kerkez as such. But we'll talk about everything else anyway. Viktor Gyokeres, Darwin Nunez, Matt Gahey, Alexander Isak, by the way, because that big news came out last night, and Stu spoke about it this morning. Everyone that watched this morning, thank you everyone for watching this morning, because there's some fantastic numbers to keep Stu busy, because Stu, it would rather someone on the stream with him, but he did it by himself. But I just think it was brilliant that we had such a good chat this morning, good people involved in the chat this morning. Hello, Prakash, how are you doing this evening? Hey, everyone, welcome to Talking Reds, everyone that is joining us tonight. We are one sub off, by the way, guys. One sub. One person just needs to press subscribe that hasn't pressed subscribe to 750, which is our target right now, and then we'll put a new target up on that display at the bottom. But yeah, thank you everyone that has subscribed so far. Make sure you just smash the likes on the way in as well. So let's get it down to business. Let's get down to business then. According to reports in Portugal, through Dave O'Cop, we won that report this earlier through his Portuguese outlet, that Viktor Gyokeres is one of Liverpool targets to strengthen the attack. And Liverpool have entered contract talks, according to the report as well. So, Alexander Isak is obviously number one. Reece, Naj, but Gyokeres, for me, was one of my in top three, I'd say, to look at. Is this a smart thing to do for Liverpool? Because we know how cheap he could possibly be. I think it's something or nothing.
I don't really believe it, to be honest. I just not convinced. I think it's sort of like there's a lot of talk about Liverpool getting a striker. Obviously, the Isak thing is obviously the most probably spoken about thing in the whole of transfer land at the minute. And I just think that why not throw another name in for a couple of clicks? That's what I think. So I don't believe it, to be honest.
Reece?
I'm not sure. I don't know about believing it or not. For me, I don't really want him, because for me, I'm not looking for a quick fix. Liverpool don't really sign players for a quick fix. Because for me, how do you sell it to him? You sell him that you're going to be the 9 this season, but you're not going to be it next season, because everyone knows the elephant in the room in terms of Isak, whether we get him towards the end of the transfer window or next summer. And then 2, obviously, I know he scored a lot of goals. His numbers are great, GA and whatnot, stats and stuff. But Portugal, we had the same thing with Nunez.
I personally think it's different to Nunez. I do.
But I just don't. I don't think. I think the numbers are kind of making it seem more than what it is. I don't think he's going to score all of that here. And if you watch him, he strikes me as this type of guy. You kind of got to build the team around him. Does he? To me, he don't strike me as someone. Is he gonna score a goal off his own back? Is he talented enough to create something out of nothing? And then also, obviously, he's quite physical. I think if you match him physically, what else has he got? Because obviously in the Premier League, defenders are quite physical as well. So if you match him physically, what's your plan B for me? So yeah, I'm not really fussed about that. Like I said, I do think it's growing more and more that Liverpool might be able to get Isak. You're hearing murmurings, you're hearing that he's not going to sign a new deal. Newcastle want him to sign a new deal, even though they know he's not going to sign a new deal. He wants to come to Liverpool. They're having problems with signing players like Alanga and stuff because they can't spend as much as they want to. So I have a feeling, an inkling inside that something will happen towards the end of the transfer. And if it doesn't, we will get him next season. And I think Liverpool will be happy to wait. And if they wait, it will be Diaz as the striker up front, and it will be Jota as the backup. So, yeah.
Naz, what do you think to that? If we had to wait for Isak, and if we had to wait for Isak, I think we've got to definitely get him. I'm not waiting and not getting him after the wait. I'm not having a Bellingham. We're waiting for 3 years and we don't end up getting him anyway.
I don't think it's this Bellingham though. But go on, carry on.
But I just think. Do you think we should try and strike it regardless? Because at one point, Jota's going to be going, so we need to do two forwards anyway.
No, I don't. I've been totally on like, I don't want Ekitike. I don't think it's worth it. I'm probably going to put Gyokeres in that category as well. Not as much as Ekitike, but like we said, yeah, he's going to be 1 year in, and he's probably going to get replaced the year after, which it's not a quick fix. We won't be looking to do that. Look, I completely agree with what Reece said. I think something's going to happen towards the end of the window. Once we see these players get sold by Liverpool, I think that we're going to see, obviously, the influx of cash coming in, that we can make that deal possible. If Newcastle want the 150 million, I think with the player sales, we can do that. So I just think it's too early to call anything yet. And I think, like I said, I think Gyokeres is just sort of something that's been thrown into the pot. I think I don't think there's any traction in it. It's because United are interested. Is it something to do with that to drive the price up? Obviously I think Arsenal are still keen on him, even though they're going after Sesko. I think it could be something to do with that. To be honest, I'm not too sure if it's like, because his agent's obviously the one that's halting the move at the minute, isn't he? To be honest, in terms of him going to United or Arsenal, wherever he does end up. But I don't think he's not in the category of Isak for me. Isak and Alvarez are the two strikers that I've had my eye on for a while. I think they're like a completely different category to what Gyokeres is in. I think they're like elite, and he's like just under that. But yeah, that's what I sort of think. I think it's just one of them.
Let me ask you a question though. Having just said like about Jota's possibly going in the next at least 2-3 years at least. I think that's at most. Sorry, not least. I think we do need two forwards for me. What would you do with the second forward? Say Isak is the first forward. What would you do with the second forward? Would you look for a youngster or?
Well, I said yesterday, didn't I? What would be a good thing would be to
Jane Dans.
And yeah, I think that is something we can really look into to do that.
Yeah.
But like it's one of them. Like I think we've got to have sufficient cover. Like if Diaz stays, like I said yesterday, like if Isak does come in, I'd be happy with Jane Dans to take the sort of Jota role, and then Diaz can obviously play false nine as well. We've got Gakpo that can play there as well. There's enough cover there if Jane Dans can't perform. But Slot's really good at doing that with young players, bringing them through. I mean, and I think, like you said yesterday, I think Dan's has got something about him. I think he's got something that he can add to this, Liverpool team. And I think you've got to give him a try, haven't you? You've got to give him a try. And I think that's what you've got to do. Quansah's had a go. Jaden Dans can have a go. I think what Jaden Dans has showed us already is he's a really good finisher at a really young age. And I think that he's hungry, isn't he? He's going to be hungry. And I think let's just see what happens in terms of Dan's development. I really do want to see him succeed, to be honest. I think he's got a lot about him.
Good evening, Jen. Has Gyokeres been announced as Jen? No, he hasn't. I don't know really what's going on with this, because we saw Romano saying statement coming yesterday, but as Romano does, likes to be first. He said statement yesterday for that, and then this morning said today's the day. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We've heard absolutely nothing regarding Elias Gyokeres. No other, apart from Romano, no one else has really said it. You'll get your in the know sort of pages that I'll try put out there saying today is the day, but nothing's happened. I thought today was going to be the day, the way it's gone on, but absolutely nothing. Big up to Ruud Gullit, if that is the real Ruud Gullit. Fair play to you. As said yesterday, Isak will only happen if he wants. We don't know what mindset yet. So, in fact, before we do, actually smash those likes, as Jen says. It will help us out massively to hit the likes. And we are one subscriber away from 750. Thank you, everyone that has subscribed. Thank you, everyone, for watching this morning. Like I said, unbelievable numbers this morning. And I'm just going to bring up some breaking reported news. So, Graham Bailey is quite a reliable journalist, isn't he, Graham Bailey, actually thinking about it. So, yeah, he does usually talk about Liverpool quite a lot. He has said Liverpool are ready to swoop for Alexander Isak if contract talks with Newcastle hit a wall. Liverpool have also held talks with Ekitike too. So, and this is what we've been saying all for the last 2 months, really. Ekitike is probably the number 2 behind Isak in terms of who Liverpool are looking at number 9. And people asking me, why isn't Gyokeres part of this? Why isn't Alvarez part of this? It's because of the type of player. They look at a certain player and they want to build a player around that sort of the way they play. And Ekitike is probably the closest to Isak in terms of the way he plays, getting in behind defenders. He's not Isak. I know Nigel's pulling the face there. He's nothing like Isak. But in terms of the idea of the player, that's the closest you get, the way he plays. You know what I'm saying?
Probably say they'll need, I mean, I'd probably say height, that's it. I don't think I think he's not, Isak's quick, he ain't quick. Isak's good at finishing, he ain't good at finishing. I just don't, I'm just really not a fan. I'm just really not a fan of him. I just don't think I don't think he's physical enough for the Premier League either. I think he's going to get absolutely. If he becomes a Premier League, he just get run all over. I don't think he's like got it in him to do it. Like some players just don't. They're good outside of the Premier League. I think if he comes in the Premier League, he'll get eaten alive. And I'm just really not keen on it at all. I think it just shows that the clubs that are linked with him, Chelsea and United, and I mean Chelsea qualified for the Champions League. And got top 4, but like they're terrible. Do you know what I mean? They're not, and they're linked with him, and they're keen on signing. Like that makes sense to me. Why would we go and sign a player that United are linked to? Do you know what I mean? It makes zero sense. I think as well, Alvarez for me. If I was going to be totally honest, Alvarez probably fits better than Isak because he's just so, in terms of. He can drop in, drop out. He's good at playing on the wide areas, both right and left. But who's the better player? The answer is Isak, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, by a mile. Elliot scoring 2 goals tonight for England 21. Yeah, they're winning 2-0. And then Elliot, 2 brilliant goals. By the way, we've spoken about Elliot many times. And like all of us on here, I don't think I know anyone from Talking Reds that has sort of not against the transfer, but the fact that we've got this talent here and we've not used him, and it's annoying that we've not used him, and it's annoying that we can't keep him. And if there's any chance at all to play him more, then keeping him would be that, to be that alternate to Florian Wirtz. I'd rather him be an alternative to number 10 than Szoboszlai for me, Reese.
Obviously,
once he gets playing.
Yeah,
games is brilliant.
But there's no denying the talent from Elliot. It's not the talent. He fits in terms of technically. You can see that. Obviously, he played under Klopp as well. So I do think he it's not like he hasn't had his chance. We haven't used him. I just think Liverpool, and you've got a massive squad. He's a talented player. I just think physically, he's not what Slot's looking for. It's the only thing missing is physically. And then for me, I still think he would pick Szoboszlai second after Wirtz because what he offers off the ball, how hard he works, the recoveries. I know that's not what we necessarily always want to look for in a 10, but I think
I get it, the physicality thing, but it wouldn't start the games. I'm just thinking like game changer. He's much more of a game changer than someone like Szoboszlai, for example.
I disagree. I don't think he's more of a game changer than Szoboszlai because you're going to see Szoboszlai when he plays in the 8 now. You're going to see how comfortable he is.
But like a game changer to come up with either a game-winning pass or a game-winning goal. I think Elliot's got more in him.
Sometimes there were games last season where he was left one in Elliot, like the Plymouth game. He didn't really do much. That was really a game he should have stepped up in. I just think physically he doesn't offer what he wants. Obviously, you can see for the under-21 top player. For me, what I was originally going to say is I think you got to add 10 or 20 million onto the price tag after today's performance for me.
Because he's unbelievable.
Because he's just got the under-21s to a Euro final. I'm sure Elliot's been in a final with England before. Correct me if I'm wrong, or potentially even one before. So for me, 40 million, you might have to discuss maybe 50 or 60 million there for me because, yeah.
What if he wins it? We're talking 80, yeah?
No, I'll say then it has to be 60 still. I'm right now, it's between 40 and 60 million in it. That's what I say. 80 is a bit too far still. I think
Nunez is worth 80 million, mate.
What's your
thoughts on that?
I think you're pulling Brighton's leg there still. And you're not going to get 80 for Nunez, 40 to 45.
I don't know, I just think he's just not physical enough, is he? I've said this.
It's a shame, though, isn't it? It's a shame.
I think when we bought him, I think we thought that he would become faster because sometimes when you're like really young, you can become obviously very quick. And I think that's sort of like what we probably presumed he would be that quick. You know, like Ben Doak's quick, isn't he? When we got him, you know, he's gone even quicker now, even after injuries. Of what, you know, watched him play for Middlesbrough and stuff. I think that's what we probably envisaged, that Elliot would have that like blistering pace or that turn of pace, but he just doesn't have it, and it is what it is, isn't it? Like, and it's unfortunate, but it has to happen. You know, and like I think when we were discussing last night, Dame, about you know, about players that, you know, even though they were playing crap, they still got picked by slot, and
yeah,
Szoboszlai probably fell into that category quite a few times last season. Like, he's playing crap, but he still played. He wasn't going to play Elliot over him because he doesn't trust him. He doesn't think he's good enough. He doesn't think he works in that system. There's no denying he's talented, but he's just not got Szoboszlai.
Like Robertson and Simicast.
Yeah. Like, they offer different things, but more what suits what Klopp wants. Slot wants. But I think, yeah, like Szoboszlai last season had some massive games. Like, he was big in big games. Like, he was a really good big game player last season, Szoboszlai. And I think, you know, this season, like Reece said, you know, going into the 8 and stuff, and having that bit of rotation with Wirtz, whether he Wirtz, McAllister, Gravenberch, whatever, whoever's getting the rotation in that midfield, I think Szoboszlai is more than worthy to like go anywhere in that sort of midfield, like, because he's just got them legs, hasn't he? He's just an absolute machine, and I think Slot obviously likes him. He really does, because he played him a hell of a lot last season.
Yeah. It's quite mixed thoughts on it. Obviously, it says sometimes our fan base overrates certain players like Elliot. I don't think he's overrated. I don't think Elliot's overrated. I'll tell you, if it's a player that's overrated, I'll tell you it's overrated. Mistake telling Elliot, very good player at homegrown as well. I just think it's a shame with Elliot. I think he is technically one of our best players, but like you said, unless he improves physically, then it doesn't suit Slot. But again, we're crying out now, saying, "Now, why didn't Chiesa get enough chances? Why didn't this?" I think, you know, people will say, "Oh, we should keep Chiesa because he's such a good player," but Slot don't like him. You know, we were happy keeping Quansah another year, maybe see what, but Slot don't like him. I think it is just what it is. I think Elliot will succeed somewhere. He's such a good footballer. It just doesn't work on the Slot. I think that's what it is.
You got to look at the other element as well. Is he happy just to be the backup for Salah? Because for me, that's not his natural position. His natural position is the 10. So is he happy just getting minutes for Salah? And he's, you know, Salah's majority of the time going to play. Obviously, there's African Cup of Nations, I think, at the start of the season. He might get some game time there. But how long will Elliot be happy just being a squad player? I know he's 22. He's still got a lot of time. But after a while, like I said, I don't think he's ever going to be out and out first team. Obviously, he had that period for Slot, and then he got injured against Leeds. But that was a Klopp signing. So it was a bit different then. And the way we played was a bit more kind of like, you have a shot, I have a shot. It was a bit more open. So
yeah, he gets when he played a lot of games that season when I think the season we signed Nunez. I believe it's that season. And he played a lot in midfield that season, off the right, didn't he? Like, to sort of where Henderson did play. And then he sort of went in that position. And even though he did come up with like some really good creative like moves and chances and passes, like, he got absolutely ran through, didn't he? The entire game. Like, I remember the Inter Milan game, he got ran through on that game. And certain games, like, they just target him because he just know he isn't going to get back quick enough. He's not physical enough, and I think selling him's not a mistake. I think selling him's good for both parties. Like, Liverpool are going to get good money for him. He's going to go off and fulfill his
dream. Needs to play. Yeah.
His dream. Harvey Elliott is good enough to play for England, and he's like I said the other day, he's had about 150 appearances from the 21. It's something mad like that. It's so many appearances he's had. He's been at every tournament since he's about 16 or 17. He's 22 now. He's still playing for them. Like, he needs to be getting regular first team football and a chance to get in that England squad, because I think he's more than worthy to get in it, because, you know, like, he's extremely talented. So I think that's what he needs to do for his career anyway,
And what we said about Gyokeres, Badger says Gyokeres is fake news. What I always say about Gyokeres is probably because it is coming from Portugal, and the fact that Sporting Lisbon want to hire the price on him now. You know, apparently what the reports were saying, that he's gone against, the club's gone against what they agreed on verbally between him and Gyokeres. So I think what Sporting Lisbon want to do is get as much money as they can out of him, and the best way of doing that is probably throwing Liverpool's name out, if I'm honest, and maybe the agent as well. Throwing Liverpool's name out and might pick up the ears of Arsenal, Man United, for example, and say, "Oh, Liverpool are in for him," and they'll want to spend more on to get him. So I think take it with a pinch of salt, but it's still news that we will report anyway. Elliot does not play against ahead of Sobo or Flo. I think he does as a 10 for me over Sobo. I do, depending what kind of game you play. And I think if in a lower team, Reece, against a lower team where we need to break them down, I think Elliot gives more than Sobo in a 10.
I agree with what you're saying. I think Slot still picks Szoboszlai though.
I think he does, yeah. But my personal preference would be to play Elliot in a certain game. When is Kirk's announcement video? I couldn't tell you, CJ. I really couldn't tell you. I wish I could, but I couldn't. I will actually, as soon as, like I said, we always say this on Talking Reds, as soon as it is done, we will let you know ASAP. But nothing yet. I'll keep seeing all day on Twitter is people saying, "Oh, when's Kirk's? What's happened to Kirk's? Where's Kirk's gone?" Nothing. Absolutely nothing I've heard all day, apart from Romano just getting his interactions like he does. Saying it's happening today. Jones would need to be told if it would keep Harvey. Remember, we have Curtis Jones. Harvey Elliott is not getting ahead of CJ. I think he's much more. I think he's technically better than Curtis Jones as well. If we're talking about that, I agree, Jennifer. There's no way we keep Curtis and Harvey. Just don't give him away for 50 million is realistic. There are rumours about Malik Fofana from Leon. What do you think? Yeah, we have spoken about Malik Fofana. We spoke about it last night, didn't we? Nige? We spoke about it last week as well. Obviously, Leon being now officially relegated by Ligue 1 into Ligue 2. Now there's potentially a chance to get Malik Fofana on a cheap, but the problem is with Liverpool is we don't need a left winger, and that is a big. It's a valid problem. We've got Gakpo, we've got Diaz, and then behind those two we've got Rio, who for me could be first team within 2 seasons. Easy. Is that talented? Would we get a Fofana that play on the left? He doesn't play on the right, but I think he's got the capability to play on the right. But I don't think we'd be looking at that. We'd look for a much more natural right winger. So it's a funny one. Depending on what cheap opportunistic signings, it could be an opportunistic signing, could be Malik Fofana, but I don't think it would be something Liverpool would go in for because of what we already have. But yeah, let's get on to someone that looks like on the way out, and that's Darwin Nunez. So Darwin Nunez and Napoli. This could go on for quite a while. It looks like they have agreed in terms of personal terms and everything else. Darwin Nunez wants Napoli. Napoli want Darwin Nunez for whatever reason. But they can't agree on the fee. So the fee that Liverpool are asking for is £59 million. And the reported fee that Napoli want to get him for is £34 million. Now, that's a big difference.
Yeah, can I just say something really funny on Nunez, by the way? I've been going through Twitter like last 2 days, and all I've seen is such mixed bag on things, right? I've seen people saying a huge mistake selling him. Like, that's the one that's getting me like the most. Like, people being against selling Nunez. I'm just like, come on. It's been 4th season he's going into. And I've seen someone put he's had 69 goal contributions in 100 games or something like that. Something like that I've seen. I was like, yeah, but it should be 100. It should be more than that, the chances he's had. You know what I mean? Like, it's all very well saying he's good. He's got that, but like in key moments, he hasn't performed. But yeah, like I don't think we'll get 59 million for him. I'll be honest with you. I think 50, probably around 50 million. I think that's what it'll come down to. But we said this, didn't we, yesterday? We said like we think we'll drop the price. I think that's what it'll we'll go in at 59 mil, and it'll end up about 50 mil. But you know, like we said yesterday as well. We sell Elliot for 40 million and Nunez for 50 million. It's 90 million. That's like more and pretty much the entire Verts transfer fee dusted. So it's you know, it's not an issue to me. When realistically they're both squad players, aren't they? Like, did Nunez start much this season? Not. So you get rid of 2 squad players for nearly 100 million. I'm happy with that. I'd be happy with that.
What price do you think then, Reece, that Darwin Nunez will go for? Obviously, 59 million to 34 million.
The amount I would take, and this is 50, but I don't even think it'll be that up front. I think maybe around 40, 45 euros plus 5 million bonuses. That's one thing I'm reading here from Liverpool News, a channel on Twitter, that says Napoli are closing in on a deal to sign him for 45 plus 5 million in bonuses, according to reports in Italy. And then there's another one that says 38.41 million plus 4.27
million. Yeah.
bonuses. So around 40 to 45. If Liverpool get 50, great. But I think around 40 to 45, I think, well, it seems like it's dragging at the minute, but I think it's progressing slowly. At this point, like I said, I don't have nothing against him. He's just not really my cup of tea personally. And I just kind of want him out of the club, just move him on so Liverpool continue with their spree of taking over in the transfers, kind of thing.
I think what is holding it back is what we've been saying for a long time now, is the fact that Liverpool will want as much money as they can from Nunez because he's the one that's going to bring the most money, and that's what it's seen as. And if they're wanting 35 million, that then is not really the most expensive sale. I think Elliot will get more than that.
I think after today, Elliot's more than 40 now. I'm being honest. Liverpool and
That's
Edwards.
what I'm saying. So, yeah, and I think the team Nunez is the one to bring the most back.
I think the reason is he want to bring the most back for Nunez is because he spent the most.
How much he spent on him? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
If you think about it, like the total accumulation of Darwin Nunez of what he's cost Liverpool to this point right now is 76 million. You're losing 30 million on him. It's not that.
And you look at the trophies he's cost us. For me, he cost us the league in Klopp's season. For me, I think, because I don't think we drop off. If Salah has his drop off and you have someone else scoring consistently, we're up there, and then we just fell off. I think we get the league the season before. So, and then you look at it's just a headache for me. It just gives me the amount of nosebleeds he has in front of goal. Like, it's just really PTSD. It gives me PTSD, and I don't even know him. So,
I mean, even this season, probably the easiest season you could play with Darwin Nunez's season. This season was the easiest season for him because he had no pressure on him.
Absolutely zero. Yep.
No pressure because Slot was like, right, it's a new manager. You can prove to me what you want. No pressure. Salah's absolutely throwing balls in the box like no one's business. You've got McAllister pushing up a little bit more. You've got
that almost cheeky. I'll go on, continue.
But when he was coming through, getting loads of passes in, loads of bosses. He had no pressure on him, and he still didn't produce. People are like, "Oh, you got them Brentford goals," but what about the Villa game where he was about 4 yards out and he put it?
I told you this is PTSD. I'm telling you, I have I'll be waking up.
I can't reinsure my TV anymore for Nunez. I can't do it. Let me reinsure it again.
Thinking that's a nightmare, and I'm waking up sometimes, and I still realize that actually happened. Yeah. So this affects me. This is what I'm trying to say.
I still can't get the Luton one, mate. I can't get the Luton one.
Oh, the Luton one, honestly, that's one of the worst misses I've ever seen. What was your like? Where it come to him and you just put it back to where
there's been too many. This is the problem. There's been too many. There's literally been too many.
That's that we can remember. I'm for me. There's been at least 10, which is too many.
The United game. That was it. The United game. Oh my god.
You could actually probably get a compilation of Nunez misses more than Nunez goals. Like, I'd say he scored like 6-7 brilliant goals. I bet you can get at least 12 unbelievable misses.
I wouldn't
maybe
be
more
in the negotiations with Wirtz that Wirtz said part of him signing, you've got to get rid of that geezer up front, mate.
Who imagine that being part of
I'm not putting it on a plate for him. I've seen how he plays. He's not cutting the mustard, mate. So you lot got to get rid of him 100%, and you got to get someone.
He shaved his hair now, though. But like it's like people saying today, like he shaved his hair. That's it. We'll get a different Nunez.
Yeah. What else?
I think as well. I think the Premier League's too much for him. Like it was almost funny, wasn't it? Like it was like a false storm what we had as Liverpool fans. That first game, you come off the bench in the Community Shield. You come off the bench.
Thought us a dream.
Everyone was like, "Oh, he's going to be better than Haaland, all this shit," and I was like, "No, he's not. No, he's not."
And then the goal against Fulham in the first game of the season, the flick.
Yeah, then he scored.
That was first game of the season where we drew 2-2, didn't we?
Yeah, and then within 5 games, he was blazing it over the bar. He was putting in, and then the first home game we had, he literally headbutted someone, and I was just like, "This is just what's going to happen. This is just." he can't control himself in the Premier League. I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? Because I've said this multiple times on my own social media. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a player play for Liverpool get backed as much as Darwin Nunez, and he still doesn't bloody deliver. Like, I've seen players come and go who are a lot better than Nunez, who've got not even half an ounce of what he's...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember like anyone getting backed like this. I don't remember Balotelli getting backed. I don't remember Varane getting backed. Andy Carroll didn't get backed. I don't remember any of that. I really don't. Peter Crouch didn't even get backed. Robbie Keane. Players that have actually done it in the Premier League before as well.
Yeah.
Robbie Keane.
Crazy.
So, it absolutely makes no sense. Jonathan, our regular Newcastle fan, coming in here saying Gyokeres is a good signing for Liverpool. Don't worry, Jonathan.
You go for Newcastle?
There's another Swedish striker we're looking at. I don't know if you've heard of him, Jonathan, Alexander Isak. But yeah, just make sure you wrap him up nicely for the summer. Whatever training you do, bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. I want him seen August the 1st in a new Adidas Liverpool shirt. Could Gakpo leave Liverpool, says Jonathan as well. You really want Gakpo, don't you, Jonathan? That's what you keep saying when you talk about Liverpool players to Newcastle. No, there's nothing on Gakpo. Gakpo is not going to win anyway. The only thing we saw about Gakpo was like a month ago when Bayern Munich was crying about losing Wirtz, so they were chucking the name for him for Gakpo, trying to unsettle us, but it didn't work. Cody Gakpo's not going anywhere. If anyone's going to go from the forward line in terms of the wingers, it'd be Diaz. Even that's died down a little bit recently. So yeah, Nunez on the way out. Quansah on the way out. Obviously, he's going to Bayer Leverkusen, but we could get a buyback clause for over 60 million euros, which will be active in 2027. So the initial fee is going to be £30 million plus 5 million in add-ons, £35 million altogether, really. 60 million euros, Reece, in 2027. It's a really good deal for Quansah, really, and we've got the buyback clause as well. We could see if he does improve, then there's always that chance there to get him.
Yeah, I think that's a shrewd bit of business there from Liverpool, because he's not rubbish, Quansah. He's just not ready for what we're looking for right now. We're not in the position because we've won the league and no one expected us to win it in the first season of the slot era. He's not at the level right now, so I think he's only going to go and improve. He'll learn a new language. He'll learn a new surrounding. I know Ten Hag didn't really work out for United. I think he'll do all right by Liverpool. I don't know if he necessarily win the league, but I think he'll do all right over there. I think he will improve. And if he does get to a certain level, they have in the next 2 seasons, he wins some trophies, gets that experience under his belt, and he turns into a really top centre-back, then for Liverpool, it's a no-brainer, smart because of his age. And then say we do buy him back and you kept him for a bit and he turns into a beast, one of the best centre-backs for his age, you could sell him again for double. So, so I just think it's smart business. That's how you should be moving in the market. It would have been silly not to have a buyback clause, because then say if he does turn into the player that we thought he was going to be when we first saw him coming to the scene towards the end of the Klopp season, then you're kind of thinking, why did we not put a release clause in? So I think, yeah, I'm all for it, and I'll be kind of paying attention to him as well. I'll be watching some of his games to see how he's doing next season.
So Liverpool have actually announced something 4 minutes ago. So I don't think we're getting Gyokeres tonight. So they have announced something on their Twitter page. Liverpool FC can confirm the appointment of Rob Page as new head coach of the club's under-21s group. So anyone that don't know Rob Page, he was the manager of Wales. Also took Wales to their first World Cup since 1958, and also took them to Euro 2020 before that as well, as a under-21 coach. So has a good coaching CV and had a track record putting youth at Wales as well. So he's already had brilliant spells with youth teams. Was that the Wales under-21s he took? So I don't remember him managing Wales' first team.
Was it Page or something he managed?
Yeah, Rob Page, yeah.
Who's manager now? It's I can't remember. Who's manager now? Wales.
Just might go to Wolves, said Jonathan. Jonathan, let me ask you a question. Also, a Newcastle fan, you are, Jonathan. If Isak does come to Liverpool, are you taking Jota in return? Would that make things easier? Would that make things a little bit bittersweet, but just a little bit easier to cushion the blow? A good business adding buyback for Quansah, be a top centre back in a couple of years. In all honesty, Jota, Nunez, and Gakpo need to get sold. Bring in Malik Fofana, extend Diaz's contract. I'm surprised at Anthos. Why Gakpo? Just out of curiosity. Which side was more important and better, Robert Mane versus Trent and Salah? Good question, Joe.
Who wants to go first? Because I got an answer for this one. My answer might not be the same as you two's either. Still, so
Go on, Damon, you go first. I know what mine is.
Yeah,
I think as a duo, because they played together as a duo a bit more. I say Robert Mane. But also Trent and Salah as individuals, better.
No, I think Robert and Mane better
as a duo. Yeah,
as a duo. But I also think Mane was a better player than Salah.
In his day, I think he was a better player on certainly a couple of seasons than Salah. But as individuals, you got to put Trent up there. Trent's in terms of what Trent gives Liverpool as well.
No, that's if you're talking about individuals. That wasn't the question, innit? So for me, I'd put those two because I just think their connection was better.
But which side was more important? Which side was more important? Because you think about it, all our attacks came a lot. Right.
The left side was better because when people used to attack us defensively, they always used to go down Trent's side, and part of why Trent not really defending great, but Salah never used to help him at all. Whereas Mane would come back and help Robinson. Obviously, that may have been the instruction from Klopp, but I always thought the left side was more stronger. That when in the prime and the peak years of Robinson and Mane, no one was going down that side. They were always going down the Trent side, and Salah. So,
now just run off from the question. You don't want to part of it.
Individuals, that's a bit different, but for me, the left side was always clear. I don't even think it was close. Obviously, going forward, probably around the same level, but defensively, when we didn't got the ball, it's clear for me that our left side was a lot stronger.
Go on, Naj.
Right, no. I would think the same, to be honest. I'd say with the terms of, if you look at sorry, just put my phone on charge. If you look at the way that just had a lot more like it's hard, isn't it? Because obviously out of all them players, Salah's obviously the best, but I just think as a unit they work better on the left with Mane and Mane. They had a bit more like I don't know what you'd call it, like
connection.
Every time you'd look up at Mane didn't even look, he just played the ball and
yeah.
That it was just such a good energy between them as well. They used to just attack like absolute demons down the side, didn't they? So I'd say the left. I'd say because the left side was so good, it benefited Salah better, if you get what I mean. Because then back post runs that Robertson used to whip it across the Salah, it'd be like on Mane obviously playing it across the Salah as well. It'd be just delightful, wouldn't it? Like the way it used to work. Yeah. I don't know about the right. Who's the right back? What's his name? Reese. Conor Bradley, isn't it?
Some guy.
Yeah, he was shite. Yeah, I think there's never there's good connection between Salah and we won't say his name. But yeah, he I just think it's weird, isn't it? Because Salah is the better player, I would say. Mane did have a real good 2 seasons though, better than Salah, I would say. But Salah overall.
I think if you're open to this, Dame, we should have a stream to do with that because I said, look. I think I disagree. They're better. I think Mane is a better player, and obviously right now, longevity rise. Yes, Salah and Mane fell off and whatnot, but I think in the all round, I think me personally, I think Mane was better for me. I think Salah got a lot of accolades because he was getting all the goals and he had to do less of the dog work, whereas Mane was doing the dog work and competing with Salah for at least good 2 seasons, and then when there was the COVID, you could see it took its toll and he never really recovered. For me, that's not to say Salah's not a top player, but I think that's my opinion, and I think Mane was better all round. I think he had a bit more to his game than Salah.
Anfield Saga said here, Gakpo isn't versatile. Diaz is. Gakpo scored 9 league goals playing his natural position, by the way. Well, if you tend to play up front, usually you do score more goals because you get more chances up front regarding that. But Gakpo is versatile. He's played up front before. He played up front with Klopp. He played up front for Holland. And in fact, the reason why we bought him is because how good he was up front for Holland. So, and I think he's probably a better striker than Diaz for Mane. So I think Diaz is a better right winger in terms of that. But I said it the week we spoke about, me and Reece spoke about Diaz and Gakpo. I think Gakpo's a better forward. Diaz is a better winger. He's
a better finisher, isn't he?
Gakpo, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. A forward includes like a forward. Forward for me has to have better output or is much more of a threat on goal.
Did you both say you think Gakpo's a better finisher than Diaz?
I just think coming on that side.
I'm not sure. I agree with that. I think he's a good finisher as well, but I don't know. I think when Diaz on his day, I think his type of finishes he's got more.
Nunez on his day is a good finisher.
No, man, but that's not the same. And you've seen Diaz's type of goals. He's got a range of goals, of different types of goals. I think with Gakpo he strikes the ball cleaner than a Diaz, but I think Diaz has got more a different range of goals than Gakpo. Obviously, Gakpo is more direct than Diaz, but I'll say Diaz is more the skillful player, more the techie type of player.
I think Jonathan is trying hard, and he's just trying hard just to swerve us away from Isak. Jonathan, it's about time. Just live it. It's happening. It's happening. Isak to Liverpool, as Owen says here. Owen Webb says here. Isak to Liverpool. Here we go. It's happening. You have to do something about it. I don't know what to do. There you go. Get Isak on the back of that.
What's that? What's that? Elite shirt? What's that?
It's Sweden. What's taking so long with Gyokeres announcement? Also asked Owen as well. We haven't a clue, Owen. We don't have a clue.
No,
we thought it was yesterday. Vimana, as he does, said yesterday that statement coming soon, official statement coming soon. That was yesterday. Nothing all day. Today, Vimana said it is going to be today. It's announced, and it's now 7:45. Still nothing has been announced. Obviously, Liverpool FC have just announced Rob Page has been the new under-21s coach. So I can't see them announcing anything tonight, if I'm honest. So yeah, I won't get you up too much on Middlesbrough because I hope nothing's gone wrong in terms of like the medical or anything like that. But I think it is going to be announced this. I think it is pretty much done with Milos Gyokeres. It's just whatever day I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. But like I said, if it does happen, as soon as it does happen, we will be letting you know ASAP on this channel. And as you can see, I've changed the little thing at the bottom. Race to 1K subs now. We've hit 751 subs on YouTube. So if you are new, whether you're a Newcastle fan like Jonathan or you're a Liverpool fan, please hit that subscribe button. We get daily content out, live content out at 7 o'clock. We also started a morning show as well. That is going to be hopefully pretty much every day if we can. Stu's going to be doing Mondays on that morning show, so going to keep that out. And also got some new shows coming up in the coming weeks as well. A rival show coming in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that as well. And yeah, thank you everyone that has subscribed so far. And if you are here, if you are enjoying the content, if you do want to watch more and better Liverpool content, hit the like button on that screen as well, because it just takes 2 seconds to hit the like button. But what it does for us in terms of a channel, it helps us grow massively. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight as well. So yeah, just a quick one before we do go though, guys. Anfield Saga said Isak, Osimhen, Ekitike in that order. So I'm going to keep this on. I'm going to keep Anfield Saga's comment on. What percentage are you giving for these three? So only these 3%. So don't add any more strikers in that could happen to Liverpool. Realistic percentages right now from
50% Isak, 25% Osimhen and Ekitike.
25% each, right? Okay, Nash.
What I want them.
No,
what do you think they are right now?
Right.
Percentage of happening.
I thought you meant I want them because it'd be Isak 98%.
Oh, that's not 100% and then nothing.
That's a no-brainer. It's not even that. Yeah.
What do you think they are right now in terms of happening to Liverpool?
I do think Isak is quite high. I do think there is really something there. I'm going to go out and say 60-70%. Me, I think it could be that. I think it really could happen. I'm weighing up the things why it could be. Don't know. Probably say 15%, whatever for the other two. I don't really care about the other two, to be honest. So, but I don't know. I'd say Ekitike is probably not the favourite. I wouldn't say Osimhen is either. So I don't know. It's probably Isak, to be honest. I don't think we're going to go in for anyone else apart from Isak. I'll be honest on that. I don't think we will. I think we'd rather play with Diaz up front than Jota and just do that rather than go waste money on the player.
Out of these three, I think it's about 55% Isak, And after that, I think it's got to be Ekitike after that because I'm saying I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be, but I think regarding Ekitike, I think he's the one after Isak that we're going to be looking at. If Isak's not possible, I think it'd be Ekitike. So I'm going to give him about 40% for 40%, and then maybe 5% Osimhen for me. But yeah, I hope it is Isak and that. Now you show me that. Now you show me the steak and chips. I don't want a pie. I've said this before. Do not show me Verts and give me Shirky.
Same. Is Jonathan a Newcastle fan?
He's a Newcastle fan, yeah. So he's trying to.
It's all right. It's all right, man. You can't. It's in the works. I know you got PTSD, a bit of nightmares, a bit of nervousness at night, and that, Jonathan. It's okay, man. It's okay. We'll give you some good money. You'll go and get 2 or 3 players. You'll get better. It'll be hard at first to move on from Isak because he's irreplaceable, but you'll get better as a team. You just gotta do what's right. Jonathan, you gotta do what's right.
So, like, you know, I have a lot of Newcastle followers, and they all keep, oh, lad, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I think what Newcastle haven't done, and by selling Isak, it would be a better possibility of this happening because they could bring more players through the door, is the fact that they've never, ever retained the Champions League spot. So if they can do that next season, that puts them again better so they can get better players next season.
Yeah.
Selling Isak is not actually the end of the world for Newcastle, but for Liverpool, it's the missing piece of the puzzle, and that's the way it is for both clubs.
It's tricky though, isn't it? Because if you sell him, you're automatically downgrading.
Yeah.
But are they guaranteed to go get the players out with the money? Are they going to get the guaranteed goals next season with Isak? They're guaranteed to be good with Isak in the team. If they go out and get like 3 or 4 players, is it guaranteed to happen, to work? It's a risk, but it's probably a risk worth taking. Whether they do it this season or next season, that's the question. I mean, we did it with Coutinho and it worked, but sometimes it don't work.
Hey, a laugh before we go. I'll give you a laugh. So I got sent a pitch side thing the other day. Today, sorry, and it was Tom Garrett's overrated XI.
He's going to put some Liverpool players in there, isn't he?
I don't think there was actually. But guess who was up front? Isak.
It will be. He'll be saying that just to annoy the Newcastle fan. He'll put Arsenal and Newcastle players in there for no reason. What Rudy Hullet said here, though, Diaz keeps it with the width for the Gakpo. Obviously, reverts in the same team. Gakpo's cutting in, but I think that's plan off slot. You know, for the wingers to cut in a bit more often because this is why we've got Frimpong and Gyokeres. Frimpong on that right, Salah can't play there. If Frimpong's always down that right, he needs to come inside. I think our idea is to overload the box and Verts just to pick up all those spaces that are created outside the box. Personally, I can't wait to get back to football. So bored with football now. In gold for Harvey, 2 goals today. I like him as a player. Just feel bad for him. I hope he does well and gets more game time. I think everyone has the same opinion on Elliot, if I'm honest, because it's just a shame. It's a shame that he doesn't suit slot. It's a shame that he has to leave, but he has to leave for just to play. He deserves to play, and he deserves to be a first team player. You can have Jota, said Owen. Liverpool can have John Pickford for number 1 spot. We're winning everything. We are winning everything if Isak joins. Jonathan just needs to let go of him at some point. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching tonight. Make sure you do hit that like button on the way out or in the way. If you're watching it recorded, please hit that like button anyway. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to keep updated on all Liverpool news and transfer news and also more Liverpool content as well. Like I said, big plans coming up in the upcoming season. So stay tuned for Talking Reds. Hope you all have a great night. And Jonathan, like I said,